Hello everyone and welcome to the green economy. Supply chains are the backbone of every industry, but do you know where your supplies and materials come from? Today we're exploring the circular economy and seeing how your supply chain can be both environmentally sustainable and meet the incoming ESG regulations. Today we're talking with 3 circular economy business leaders who have changed the definition of resources. First up today, we're excited to be talking with Yaz from Circonomy, who have changed the definition of resource recovery. Great to have you with us, Yaz.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So can you tell us about your business? How do you create a circular economy?
Yeah, of course. So Circonomy is actually, originally we were known as the world's biggest garage sale, and it was something I created 10 years ago as a small concept to help really recover items that were sitting idle in our homes. What I discovered along the way though is it wasn't just our homes that had all of this valuable material idle, but there were businesses out there that were stockpiling and not knowing where they could send imperfect, returned, maybe slightly cracked, damaged, or just idle assets. And because everybody was craving a more visible, transparent solution, it was a natural part of the world's biggest garage sales evolution to start working with businesses. And here we are today. We've not just grown up over the last 10 years, but we've also evolved our own brand into the Circonomy enterprise and vision that we saw all those years ago. And effectively, we rescue, recover, repurpose, and actually remanufacture and even re-commerce products so that we can connect consumers with those goods that would otherwise be wasted.
Excellent model. Can you give us an overview of the circular economy and how businesses can play a role?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose I could almost say, although I think we're transitioning now, that we're in a take, make, waste economy, very linear. We take a product from the land, we make a product from that product, and then we use the product, then we dispose of the product, and it's very linear in and out. What the circular economy is really all about is understanding not just taking products from the land to create an asset and an item that then circulates in the economy, but how do we actually maybe not take the asset from the land and instead start to look at the materials and resources that we've already made, and could we then prolong the life of those materials, bring them into a new second non-virgin material life through remanufacture, and ultimately ensure that it's a loop rather than a linear economy. So the whole circular economy is really designed around ensuring that products and resources don't have just one life, but have an extended and circular life throughout the life cycle of the product, well beyond what the original designer might have thought.
Sounds like the perfect world. How can logistics play an important role in the circular economy?
Logistics has always been one of our challenges. At a point in time, I actually even thought we might be a logistics company, because we're not algorithms and code in the cloud that's able to uniquely identify and create a technology solution for things, because this lounge I'm sitting on can't become code and an algorithm. It needs to physically move. And while today I'm in Bundaberg and this is where the asset is, there might be somebody in Brisbane desperate for this item. And so for Circonomy and our organization, we've always challenged ourselves on how do you connect people to the products while minimizing the burden on logistics. So how do we utilize and work with logistics companies to actually utilize their idle spaces in trucks and transport that's all, traveling across our own country and on the seas across the world? But how do we actually collaborate with logistics so that we're partnering to ensure that both our desire for more circularity and their capabilities to move these things around come together in more harmony, so that it's not just, again, a linear approach to moving things around. So look, someone in Brisbane might want this couch I'm sitting on. How do we efficiently, effectively get it to that consumer so that it's not bad for the planet? So that's where I think logistics have a real big role to play.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. So what does the growth of the circular sector look like?
Look, I think I was pitching 5 or 6 years ago that the circular economy is a $4.5 trillion industry. And I said trillion, not billion, but trillion. And if there's anything beyond trillion, it's probably already there. This was 5-6 years ago that the UN and all the data coming out of global statistics was really trying to guesstimate this industry's value. I actually feel like it's significantly grown since then. And to be honest, as a founder, 4.5 trillion is a huge number. Big enough for me to sit back and say this is an industry worth investing in. What I love now is back when I created the brand Economy as a brand, and literally it was a mash together of circular economy blended. It's not that creative really. I love to mash words together. It's what I do. But it was too early. Circular economy 4 or 5 years ago, people were still scratching their heads saying circular what? And so for me now, I think the circular economy and Economy has really come into its own perfectly timed space to really start to grow and build, so that it's not an industry standing alone on its own. It's actually an industry that integrates into other sectors so beautifully. Retail, property, finance, it's all circular. We can actually see sustainable financial and impact metrics that are ensuring that they have ripples across industries and the world to create circular economy in a perfect world as a BAU and normal part of everyday life. This industry is really hard to estimate the value, because I think that we really don't have enough visibility on the value of all the assets already on the land. And once we can start to use data and analytics to really understand that and start to materialize life cycle analysis of all the materials we're utilizing to make all these products we're all buying, then it's going to be really difficult to truly pinpoint a number, but it's definitely in the trillions.
Perfect. Yeah, there's definitely a huge opportunity there, and really the whole concept provides a perfect example of how any product or object can and should have a new life. Absolutely. So thank you so much today, Yaz. It's been really great having you with us.
It's my pleasure.
Next, we're talking with Luke from Zorn, who has developed a new solution from your old plastic waste. Great to have you with us, Luke.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Ivana. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So can you tell us about your business? How do you relate to the circular economy?
Yeah, sure. So at Zorn, we make phone cases basically, just like this. We make them out of ocean-bound plastic. So we're collecting them from the beaches and the ocean and then recycling that into phone cases effectively. At the end of the phone's life, we obviously don't want these phones that we're making, even though out of sustainable materials, going back into the ocean or landfill, as there are 1.5 billion phone cases that make it to the landfill or ocean every year. So we've got a take-back model basically, where you get a discount. Well, previous customers, when they send it, they're ready to upgrade their phone and get a new case with it, they can send it back to us and get a discount on the next case. Then we'll recycle it and keep it in circularity.
Yeah, it's ingenious. So why phone cases, and what other products can we expect from you in the future?
Yeah, sure. So chosen phone cases, especially because almost everyone has a phone and therefore a phone case. So it really means that everyone can get involved in the sustainability component of ocean plastics, and they do have good application for phone cases. So it can be hard sometimes to find out the right product and what you can actually turn it into within the scope of it being sustainable or using ocean plastics. But unfortunately, there is such a large supply, so we are able to continue to make products and other products. So we want to stay within the niche of beach or environmentally related products. So making sure we're not making any additional plastic products that are unnecessary and where plastic is a good application. So, things like your dog bowls, kids bucket and spade, those are the kind of things that we've got under application at the moment. But for now, we're just going to really focus on phone cases and getting it to market.
Exciting. But do you see this circular business model as the standard model for product-based businesses moving forward?
Definitely, I feel very passionate about that. I think that people are not innovative enough in that they could have a really effective circular model, but are not putting in the time to be able to, come up with solutions and get creative. We actually think that even though there is an increase in the logistics effort involved in the circular economy, that it adds value to our product which is more likely to lead towards purchases and return customers as well through the circular system and the discounts on return purchases. So yeah, we're pretty happy with the circular model and think that, yeah, as I said, with a little bit of creativity and a bit of effort, you can add value to your product and your supply chain with it.
Beautiful, that's great to hear. So how can businesses purchase your phone cases?
Yeah, so another one of our strategies at the moment is to help corporates with massive ESG goals and wanting to showcase their company's environmental values. So we can help you out with large orders for corporate gifting and supply those phone cases to you and then pass on to your employees and your customers to showcase your company's values.
Beautiful, perfect opportunity. We might even be able to sit on the side of a ship one day.
Exactly.
So obviously, an item like this, it has a lot of logistics components.
Yeah.
How can our logistics community help your company?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, we are on the edge of having a couple of really big customers. We've got our first customer in SeaWorld, which is really exciting and definitely on brand for us. So we'll be making a large order for them. But moving forward with some of the customers that we're talking to at the moment, we are on the verge of getting some big distribution. So we're looking for distribution partners, 3PL, even someone who might want to be interested in getting on board with the company, whether that is an organization or an individual. We're open to any conversation because we're going to have to make sure that we're ready to go for that global distribution.
Perfect. A perfect opportunity for someone looking for a new venture. These are great products. Thank you, Luke, so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Ivana.
Finally today, we are delighted to be talking with Phoebe Gardner from Bardi, who have developed the world's leading food recovery system. Great to have you with us, Phoebe.
Thank you so much. Really excited to have a chat.
So can you tell us an overview of your business? What makes Bardi unique?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Bardi, we are on a mission to reshape the global food system. And to do that, we're transforming food waste into protein and fertilizer using insects.
Very exciting. I'd love the insects. So can you tell us about a bit more how it fits in with the circular economy and the profitability behind the circular economy?
Yeah, absolutely. So how Bardi works is we collect or we receive tips of food waste at our facility. We have one large operational facility in Melbourne so far. And at that facility, we have about 10 tonnes come in every day, and we're able to process that food waste into an ideal feed for the insects that we breed. And at that point, we combine the food waste that we've turned into a recipe with the insects, and then they grow in highly automated labs for 7 days. After that process is complete, we separate the insects that have grown 3,000 times in size just by eating food waste at that point, and their castings, which we turn into the fertilizer product. Now, this whole process of transforming that food waste produces 4 revenue streams for Bardi, and this is a new type of circular economy business model. So we receive a small tipping fee for accepting or collecting food waste that comes to our facility. And then we also sell the protein and fertilizer outputs, which is our main revenue. And we are also now the first insect technology in the world to be certified for carbon credits. So we produce Australian accus under the Australian Clean Energy Regulator.
Very exciting. You're definitely a world leader. How do you challenge the misconception of people seeing excess food as waste rather than resources?
That's such a good question, and it hits that fundamental transition that we're all going through at the moment from a linear economy that wastes, where we have all of these outputs that we consider useless and we just want them to disappear, to a circular economy where really there is no longer a need for waste, and we consider every output from any system to be a potential future resource. And so how we talk to people who are interested, or when we reach out to prospective new customers who we want to work with in the community, what we're often doing is actually showing them the technology of how Bardi is able to, in a small amount of time and a small amount of space, actually turn a waste that people are paying to get rid of and even paying government levies to get rid of into something that's of genuinely high value and is contributing to the agricultural system.
Beautiful, and definitely a world leader. So tell us, how are you developing markets for your product?
So we've been commercializing our 2 product streams over the last 18 months. So that's our insect protein that currently goes into pet food and animal feed. So we actually supply 2 different versions of the insect protein. So we have a dry form and a wet form, and that goes into either wet or dry pet foods, and we supply to some of the major brands. And then we also, on the fertilizer side, on that product stream, we have been supplying many farmers in the horticulture space. So the farmers who are growing fruit and veggies for the major supermarkets and going to the large wholesale markets. And what we're able to do with them is reduce their reliance on urea and superphosphate, some of the really harmful mined fertilizers that use fossil fuels, and instead repurpose food waste through the insect into this fertilizer that they can use. The very exciting thing we're doing this year is actually expanding that fertilizer product into a retail range by launching it in Bunnings in 2 kilo packages.
Congratulations. Perfect example of a circular solution, right at everyone's front door. So what are your plans for the future? Do you see Bardi in every city in the country very soon?
We have a really ambitious goal because we spent 2 years at the start in stealth deep tech mode, working with insects and doing amazing collaborations with the university and with various universities and CSIRO. But now we have a fully operational facility built out, and we've proven that this technology can work. And so now we're looking to expand. So it's our goal to have a Bardi facility in all 10,000 cities around the world. But of course, we'll be tackling Australian cities first, and we already have significant progress on our next facility.
Beautiful, that's great. A perfect opportunity for a logistics company to step in and help. It's so inspiring to see that even the most organic excess resources can be turned into something new. Thank you so much for coming on today, Phoebe.
Thanks so much.
The circular economy is indeed a framework which can apply to all businesses. How will you implement it in yours? Every material asset can be transformed into something useful for either your business or be sold on as a new resource, enhancing your profits. The opportunity is yours. Thank you for watching The Green Economy. As we like to say, waste isn't waste until it's wasted. See you all next time.